Welcome back to the Fierce and Femme podcast with your host, Alicia.
And Rami. And today we're going to dive deep into relationships. We're going to chat about ours first and then give you some hot tips. So, Alicia, tell us all about you and your mans.
Oh, I love this conversation. I could talk for hours.
Cute.
And I feel like it's one of those things that when you've been in a relationship for a long amount of time, I've been in mine for nearly 6 years in Feb, you don't talk about it as much as when you're like a fresh, hot thing. Everyone wants to know the goss, everyone wants to know the juice, but then you just don't get asked about it as much. But I'm more than happy to talk about it. So we actually met on Tinder. Shout out to anyone else who met on Tinder. And we never really told people about it at first because we were quite young. I was 18. He was 19. I was literally like freshly 18. I think it was like 18 in 5 days. Like swiped right on Tinder.
So specific.
And he super liked me, which I always like to shout out because you get one of those a day. So it's pretty fucking special to be super liked.
Yeah, it is.
It's not that special. But
It is.
Okay. I'll take it. But we actually, it's really interesting. So our first date was a long date. Like I think we were together for like 6 hours.
Oh my God.
And funnily enough, and when he says this, I fucking hate it. He's like, oh, I don't know if I would have asked for a second date if you didn't. And I was like,
wow.
but on the second date, I fully won him over. So it just shows you girls, like sometimes you got to be the one.
100.
Because I left that first date and I was like, wow, I really like that guy. Whereas he was just like, eh. Which like, you know, we've changed his mind now. We're 6 years in, so we're good. But then our second date, I think is one of those things like the nerves were down a lot more. We went to the beach. It was really playful and flirty and all those things and really fun. I'm giving you like all the details, but we didn't actually kiss until like 4 dates in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which a lot of my friends were like, why the fuck haven't you kissed yet? And I was just like, not in a rush for it because I was enjoying the time we were having together. But then again, I made sure that it was going to happen because that date was a drive-in date and we were not going to the drive-in without having a cheeky little make-out. He's going to die listening to this. Anyways, but
I forgot he listens to these.
Sometimes.
Hi, Jeremy.
There's going to be so many laughs in this episode, I feel like. But apart from that, I'm like, I don't know what else to say. From then we pretty much lived together very early on because we were a COVID relationship and we survived. Go us. And I thought it was really fitting that I'm wearing this jumper because he actually got it for me, I think, for our like 6-month anniversary. I don't know if this is going to be so niche. Cute. I don't know if anyone's watched The Last Dance. It's a documentary on Michael Jordan and his like winning team, the Chicago Bulls.
Oh yeah.
And
good series.
We watched it together. I love it. I love NBA and all that sorts of stuff, but there's a line in it that says something like you can't have Pippen without Jordan. And he got me this and a Pippen jersey and he got a Michael Jordan jersey.
That's so cute.
And when he gave it to me, he like passed it to me and fast forwarded to that point in the show. And he's like, you need to listen to this.
Oh my God.
I know, bless. He doesn't do that anymore.
That's how he got you.
Yeah. But
so cute.
We're nearly 6 years down the line now, which feels just insane to say. We live together. We've got 2 dogs. So yeah, I feel like that's pretty much a wrap. And now things are just like same old, same old. We're like an old married couple, but wouldn't trade it for the world. So cute. I know your story's a little bit different.
Yeah. Sorry. This is what I love about us, how different things are. So, oh God, this is for the girlies who have gone on a ride. Anyway, so Vass and I met when I was 19 and I'm 30 now. We met when I started working at Officeworks. So
cute.
I know, so cute. But we were both in relationships at the time. So we just developed like a really strong friendship. Like he ended up becoming one of my best friends and we would like talk about our relationships. When he got single, we would talk about the things that we'd get up to. And it's so funny thinking about that now because ew.
I don't want to know that
like,
anymore.
Yuck. So we built such a solid foundation, which was so great. And then when I was 22, me and my ex broke up. I pretty much went straight to Vass. I don't know why I'm nervous to say this if my ex is listening. He's definitely not listening, but anyway, sorry. I went straight to Vass. And I think it was, that did not come without its challenges, because at that time I was still sort of like in a relationship brain and mind and love having a partner, and never really knew what it was like to be single because my ex, I'd started dating him when I was young. Whereas Vass was like in a completely different stage. Completely different stage to me. So we clashed a lot. Like there was so much love, but we still just clashed so much because we were just such different people. So we were on a roller coaster for ages. And I think it wasn't until I was 25 or 26 was when we were like, actually, we're going to give this a proper shot. And we did. And it was fantastic. Like, I don't know how we overcame so much together. And then 2 years in, we broke up, and it was really, really drastic and heavy, and it just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, we unfortunately just turned into this couple that really struggled to communicate with one another, and I don't even know what version of me that was. I was such a different girl then. And even with him, like, he's just grown and changed so much. So we went through a really bad breakup where we would like talk a little bit, then I'd cut him off, and then we'd talk again, and then he'd like cut me off and he wouldn't see me. And then I was like, nah, I can't go on this fucking roller coaster, like this breakup roller coaster. So that's when I just really invested in myself. And then it was maybe 6 or so months later, I reached out to him, even though I was like,
again, girls made the first move.
I did. You're welcome, Vass. Because it'd been a few months, and I'm pretty sure it was a drunk night out. Anyway, so I drunk. Everyone's like, how'd you guys reconnect? And I'm like, yeah, it was me. Which thank God I did. Anyway, and it just felt different that time because we actually hung out, and for the longest time, we did not hang out. Like, he was very adamant on, we're not together, so we're not hanging out. And I look back and think, thank God, because it probably would have been even messier. And then we were hanging out again, but then I was like, oh no, what am I doing? I was like, what are my friends going to think? What are my family going to think? It was such a bad breakup and da-da-da. Went and did NLP, came back a whole new human, and pretty much told him, I was like, we're either on or we're not. Because in the past, I would say, yeah, I love myself so much to not be with you, but I didn't fucking mean it. I chased. I went after him 1,000,001 times. I was that fucking yes girl, and that's why it didn't work. Whereas this time around, I feel like I just became a woman. That's literally, it feels like I went from a child relationship to a full fucking adult, full femme in my power relationship, and that's what really worked for us. So we got back together like March last year. And we've been fucking inseparable since. The communication's amazing. We lived together since July. So it moved really fast. Like, as soon as we got back together, it was like a few months later, hi everyone, we're dating again, but also we're about to live together. Like, everyone was just shocked. So that in itself is a whole story. But yeah, so now we're together again, and better than ever. We don't know when our anniversary is because so people ask how long you've been together, and I'm like, fuck, it's a story. But we've been together for ages is pretty much just what we say. And the breakup was the best thing that ever happened for us.
Love that.
Yeah, so that's our story.
For you.
100%. So now, boys, if you're listening, we're just waiting for rings.
Yes, please.
We're ready. Okay.
Both of us.
So yeah, that's the story.
All right, so a little bit of a backstory for you because it is so cute and we love it. But now we actually want to give you some tips because since we've been in such different relationships, and I would say, like, obviously, like you said, it was such a long stand for you too. We have learnt so much and continue to learn. Like, I think relationships are one of those things. There's so much effort that goes into it as well as all the love. So we just want to share what we've learnt with you for anyone who's maybe struggling or just wants a little bit of advice in their relationship. So Ramya, can you kick us off?
Yes. Number one, communication. And for me, I really learned that the hard way. I think that what I really learned is that, yes, you can love someone so much and want to be with them, but honestly, if your communication is not good, the relationship will fail. As simple as that. And I think a lot of the time women, we can get really big egos in our relationships where we think, okay, well, he knows what I'm thinking and he knows what I'm feeling and he should know this. He's not a fucking magician. And I remember getting so triggered in mine and Vass's past relationship where he would be like, I'm not a mind reader. And I'd be like, well, you should just know.
Yeah.
Like, no, sweetie, they do not know. Half the time, we don't even know what we're fucking thinking or feeling. So how the fuck do we expect them to know? And I really learnt the importance of just killing your fucking ego and communicating as many times as you need to, in different ways if you need to, and just being okay with that, because we also expect our partners to communicate with us. And if we're not doing the same, then how do we expect them to do it? Like, they are just our projection. So if you feel like your partner's not communicating with you, ask yourself, where are you not communicating? You know, if you want something special, let them know. If you want X, Y, and Z, let them know. You want a cooked dinner 3 times a week, let them fucking know, okay? Like, I think there's this stigma of men should just know everything. Kill it. Kill it. It's so important to communicate how you're feeling, what you're wanting, what you're needing. And especially when there's an argument as well, just noticing how you communicate then. Are you yelling at them? Are you being feisty? Are you attacking? Like, how are you reacting as well in that situation? Because the better that you can communicate when you guys are in a solid and great area, then the same thing will also happen when you are arguing. Because that's, we all know that things can really explode and emotions get involved. And it's like, the more you can sort of know what communication style works for you, you can also let your partner know. Because I think that's also really key. Like, if you're someone who's feeling heightened and you're like, actually, babe, I just need 5 minutes and then I'll be able to communicate properly, versus, oh, I'm just going to fucking attack. Like, it's okay if you need 5 minutes to chill and then communicate. Or then also noticing how your partner reacts. Are they playing fucking keyboard warrior when you're having an argument? Like, it's so important to start learning each other's and yourselves' communication styles so that you can also get on top of things when shit hits the fan. Because like Alicia said, we've been in relationships for years. It's not fucking smooth sailing. Yeah, you might see the pretty happy stuff, the engagements, the marriages, all that sort of shit online, but that didn't happen without the fights. In my experience, a fucking breakup. Like, there is so much to learn, and communication truly, I know it's fucking cliche, but it's fucking key. Speak your mind, girls.
Love. One thing I just want to add to that, which I really found, is I would be like, I am communicating, but I think, like you said, the way you do it is so important. Is I would communicate with so much defensiveness, or you did this, you did that, you.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're met with that, immediately you're going to defend yourself. So something that I've really been working on, I would say this year especially, is how I bring up issues, problems, whatever it is, or how I'm feeling, in that I'm feeling this way. Because whatever you feel is about you, not them. So I would just say that.
Yeah, totally.
So tip number 2, giving as well as receiving. And I think this is like a very women-centered one. Obviously, we're here for the girlies. Is, I know I would be like, okay, you've got to do this, and this for me. But like, our mans also need love too. Like, and I think especially with men, this goes back to the communication. They're not going to tell you they want to be strong, all these things. Like, they have a big ego as well, but I think it's just doing small little things that can maybe help and make their life easier. It goes, okay, well, what would I like to do? And also learning and asking again. Like, communication is probably going to dial into all our other tips, because it really is like the biggest one. But when it comes to giving, is sometimes what you think they need, that's not what they're going to appreciate as much. So asking, okay, what can I actually do to help you? What do you appreciate the most that I can give to you? And that is in so many different ways, of like, not just gift giving, but whether, we're going to touch on love languages a little bit later, but whether that's making their meals, or whether that is cleaning up around the house so it's like a less stressful environment for them. But making sure that not always just expecting from them, and you also giving, because it's got to go both ways. Like, we've got to have that whole thing. And I truly do believe that there's different times it's not always 50-50. Like, I'm such a believer is like, sometimes one of you is going to have 80 and the other one's going to have 20.
Preach.
Or one's going to have like 60-40. And sometimes you do have to step up. And again, putting the ego aside, which could have been a tip in itself, but to go, okay, cool, my partner really just needs my support right now, and I've got to put my needs just aside for a little bit so I can step up for them, because that's what they need, because there's going to be a time where you need the same.
Perfect. Our third tip is holding yourself accountable and asking yourself as well, how are you contributing to this relationship? And again, it does tie in with communication, killing the ego, all those sorts of things. But I think in relationships, a lot of people expect a lot, and it's really important to ensure, this really does tie in with everything. Again, like, are you giving as much as you're receiving? Are you receiving as much as they're giving? Like, all those sorts of things, because you have to really hold yourself accountable. So for example, let's say there's an argument in your relationship and maybe they haven't done something that you wanted, but just ask yourself, okay, well, did you tell them? Where, like, you really have to hold yourself accountable in your relationship. Okay, well, you haven't had quality time the whole week. Where have you contributed to that? Have you told them that you want more quality time? You know, have you told them what you need? Again, it's communication, I know, but just to really break it down, it's you have to really hold yourself accountable in every aspect, because again, your partner is just your projection. If you're not receiving something, you're not getting something, there's probably a chance you haven't told them or you're not doing the same. So asking yourself and just sort of having that audit of, fuck, did I do this? Have I done enough of that? Did I not do this? Or whatever, are my expectations realistic? Because I think that's also really important too. Like, yes, we can expect the world from our partners. Of course, like we're girls, we grew up with Disney and we want princes and all those sorts of things, but there's still a huge level of accountability with those things. If you're a girlie that wants flowers every month, tell your mans. If you're a girl who loves gifts, tell your mans. Like, for me, it's acts of service. So it's like, Vas knows that I love coming home to a clean kitchen. That is like my version of flowers every month. You know what I mean? Or like if he picks up the vacuum, oh my God, that shit turns me on. Like literally, because acts of service is and we're going to talk about love languages too. But again, it's like holding yourself accountable. So for him, it's like he loves the quality time. So I'm like, fuck, I got to make sure, like, okay, have I given enough quality time this week? Have I said hello enough? Have I called him enough? Have I done those things? Because that's really important to him. It's not just about us. Right? There are two people in the relationship. So just as much as you want your partner to be accountable for his or her and their actions, you do too.
So good. All right, number 4. This is a bit more of a fun one. Date nights. I love a date night, and I cannot, I cannot stress the importance of date nights, and especially when you're getting to a point like where I'm at, we're 6 years in. Like, it is so important for us to continue to date each other and remember why we're in this relationship in the first place, and have the fun, flirty moments where it's not as serious and it's not focused on fucking paying the bills. And like, it can be so easy to feel like you're just roommates. I can say hand on heart, we've been there before, especially when you're living together, where it's just like, okay, we're in the same thing. Have you done the dishes? Have you done this? Have you done that? And it's like all these chores and life things that like we actually need to make an effort, get ourselves out of the house and have fucking fun and just fall in love with each other all over again. That's how I always like to explain like a date night is like, you go out, you do something really fun and you're just like, oh my God, I'm taken back to our first date where like we fell in love with each other and just had so much fun. So I think like also getting yourself out of the house for them, because it can be so easy. And this is probably going to be different if you're someone who has kids and everything like that. It's going to look a lot different for you, but trying not to resort to the same of, oh, we're just watching a movie, we're doing this, we're doing that. Or if you are, because I love a good movie night. Did a movie night at my retreat. I fucking love to just sit down and watch a good movie. Like, make it really fun. Like, Jared and I will sometimes bake brownies or make cookies and make it a whole experience instead of just, okay, let's sit down and be zombies together is how I always explain that. Or do things that, like, are out of your comfort zone. Like, Jared really loves to bring me along for his hobbies. Currently, it's golf. And for him, that's something he really appreciates. And that's, like, his most favorite date night. So I think also appreciating that you might have different ideas of what you like for date nights and fulfilling each other's cup of that is that, okay, his dream date night is golfing. That is not mine. Mine is maybe going and like doing like mini golf or something and like having fun. I just said mini golf and his is golfing.
Wow, it's rubbed off on you. That can happen too.
I meant as in mine is more like a fun arcade game sort of thing or something like that that's not as serious or whatever, but communicating again of what do you like and plan. I'm going to say last point on this is plan the date nights in so they're scheduled, because it's so easy to go a month and be like, okay, when was the last time we went on a date and made that time for each other? Whether you agree to do monthly, weekly, fortnightly. We were doing weekly and then life changes and then maybe it's fortnightly and maybe it's monthly, but just having that agreement of really making the effort to do it and not letting it just be something that sort of slides under the radar.
Perfect. The next tip is just remembering why you date this person, why you love them, why you're with them, especially when shit hits the fan. I think unfortunately in this generation, a lot of people just throw the towel in. Oh, it's not working because of this. Oh, it's not working because of that. It might not just be working because you're just going through an evolution. You guys are evolving, you guys are growing, and yeah, sometimes that can feel really hard and tricky. And again, just coming down to that communication, letting them know what you need, and just remembering that, like, yes, you can really love someone, and it's not always enough, and all these tips are here to help you with everything. But it's like, also just remember why you're with them. Is it because they cook for you? Is it because they clean? And is it just because they've gone through something recently? They haven't had time to do that. Like, I think for me, like, I've just gone through a huge life transition going from cop to coach. So much in my life has changed. But my partner hasn't turned around saying, okay, well, we're done because I don't like this new journey. It's no, you're in it together. Like, that's the thing with relationships. Like, you're in for a fucking commitment, whether you're wearing a ring or not. Like, you're committed to this person. Like, this is your person, and it's not always going to be smooth sailing. It's not always going to be easy. There's going to be hardships. There's going to be things that get thrown in there. And it's so important to remember why you're in it together. You know, why you love this person. I feel like I could talk about this a little bit for ages, but it's just... And again, I guess, like, I had this chat with my client this morning, and it was kind of the opposite of why she doesn't want to be with this person. And I can apply to both. I'm not saying that, you know, why you're staying with them now because you loved them 4 years ago. Because yes, things do change and people evolve separately, not always together. So you can also, if you put a little twist on it, okay, well, if you feel like your relationship is not working because you've done all of these tips, that just might be the case, and the universe is saying, sis, he, she, or they is not for you right now. And that's also okay. So you can start asking yourself, well, what do you want in a relationship? Who is the person that you want to be with, and why? Like, that why has to be so strong and so desirable to either stay with the person or not stay with them.
Next is having a vital support system outside of your relationship. And I think for me at the start as well, because I was so young, and I also haven't had the best relationships always modeled to me. I grew up with divorced parents, and yeah, that's that. I grew up with divorced parents.
Same.
There's a lot of divorce in my family. So I at times was like, what does a healthy relationship look like? And this is also where a support system, there's going to be a lot of nuance to this conversation, because I think, one, it's important to talk to the right people about your relationship. We don't want people that when you're talking about an argument, I got a hair on my lip. I think that was Caesar's. Caesar's Rami's dog.
He's just chilling here today.
But don't know how it made it up there. But talking to the right people, because we don't want people that when you're struggling and going through an argument, they're going to trash your partner. We need people who obviously love you, who can be unbiased. Like, I know if I came to Rami, she's not going to be like, oh, well, fuck him, whatever. She's going to still be able to see both sides and understand his side, understand my side, and actually provide me with some really good, valuable advice that I just really need to hear in that moment. But yeah, I think at the start as well for me going, okay, well, what does a healthy relationship look like? And having support systems maybe of other healthy relationships, whether it's in friends, whether it is in family. Like, maybe you have grown up with like the most idolized relationship and you can really go to your parents for that. But having a really good support system, so if things do get a little bit ugly, or I know that if tomorrow something happened, I've got someone's house to stay at. Or, like, obviously that's not something we want going through our head all the time in a relationship, but there can be really scary moments if you live with the person of going, holy shit, if this was to end, what does my life look like? Or, like, who do I have around me to build me up, to support me, and to hold me in all these difficult things? Because obviously it is one of those things, like, I can hand on heart say, Jared is a massive part of my support system, that it's also important I have other people around that, because God forbid if anything was to happen, I can't have my whole support system gone. Like, we always need those really important people around us who can support us and hold us in the toughest moments, but also celebrate us in the best moments as well. Like, I think, not to take such a dark turn, but also you want the people that when you do get engaged, you're going around and celebrating and all those sorts of things. And I think most importantly can be honest with you, because I know I've had friends in the past where I've gone, holy shit, that guy is just not maybe what you think he is, and support you, but equally want the best for you in that.
The next tip is independence. I flashback to my past relationship. Like I said before, I was such a yes girl, did everything that he wanted, his family wanted. I'd put everyone else above me and my needs. And ultimately, that's how I lost myself in our first relationship. And there is so much that I learnt through our breakup that I really carried through into my new relationship, which was still having my own life, because you still can be a baddie, be a CEO, do all those things, go work out in the gym and do things on your own when you are in a relationship. Because I think that when you really do merge the two worlds together, there's that fine line of, yes, you want to do everything with your partner, but still having you, like still knowing who you are. And I think there's something so beautiful in that, because then you get to go find new hobbies and new things, and you can bring that to your partner, a little bit like Alicia, how she kind of really likes mini golf now, apparently. But like even like Vass and I, like he's such a gamer. Like, yeah, we started off playing like just like basic games. Now we play fucking Battlefield and shit. Like we just really elevated. And that's probably not a game I would have initially chosen on my own, but it's like things that we do together. So it's like you can still bring your external hobbies and things that you do on your own in your relationship, but you won't know until you go out there on your own and go do those things. And I think also it is great, because if you've got a partner who's also quite independent, but then you're like anxiously attached, it's going to be quite imbalanced. And it's important to still have things that you like to do, whether it's like you like to read, you like to go for walks or runs, or you enjoy just watching trashy TV one night and your partner can go off and do something else. That's really healthy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with going out and doing things on your own. There is a perfect balance of being able to do that. Just like when you go and hang out with your friends, your partner's not going to be there every single time. Like, it's healthy to go hang out with the girls. It's healthy to go hang out with whoever else it is. And then coming home together, or knowing that you and your partner can just talk about it later, and it gets to be really fun, and kind of like keeping that relationship still alive and exciting and new, because you've got your own independent things that you guys do go and do. And I think that gets to be really, really fun and beautiful.
Yeah. Love. Let's talk about sex, baby. I love that. Intimacy, more on a specific level. And the reason, like, we've actually said intimacy instead of sex, because I think it's a lot different as well. And I was even thinking about this the other day, because we knew we were recording this episode. And I think intimacy can look different in so many different ways. Like, there's, I feel like, emotional intimacy, there's physical intimacy. And to me especially, and I know I'm saying to me especially because I know everyone's relationship is really different in the levels of intimacy they want, they desire, they're comfortable with, all those sorts of things. So I'm going to speak personally to myself and like on a broader scale as well. I notice a massive difference in how connected I am to my partner when we're intimate versus when we're not. And this is even like the small little things of like a little kiss on the cheek, a little hug, a little booty grab. Like,
yeah,
love all those little things to, I want to feel fucking sexy. I still want to feel that after 6 years, he thinks I'm the hottest fucking woman on the world. And I know that when those small little intimate moments are lacking, that's when I start to go, oh, does he even like me anymore? Like, are we still that fun, fresh 18-year-old couple that we were? Like, we're still young. Yeah, I know that. But one of my like biggest things that I've always said to him is I still want to be, when we're 50, dancing in the kitchen, like all over each other, wanting to make out with each other. Like, that is my dream goal of healthy relationship. And that's where intimacy starts to become really important. And sometimes it does mean like doing it when you can't fucking be bothered doing it. Mm-hmm. And again, making the effort for it. And this is where, again, like communication, saying what you need, because your partner may not know if you need these things. And that's been a big thing for me in my relationship of being like, okay, cool. I actually really appreciate the little kiss on the cheek, or even I'm even going to take intimacy into like little notes and stuff. Like, to me, that is intimate moments. Or even if you're out in a social setting, like a little look across the room to be like, I still see you over there. Like, I still got you, sort of thing. Like, that to me is really, really, really important. Do you even want to talk, like, what do you like in intimacy?
I love it when he leaves me little notes. I think they're the cutest thing ever. Yeah, I was going to say, I love a little smack on the bum.
Yeah. I love a booty grab.
Literally. Just, yeah, we do lots of little silly things. No, I even like, because I know you said that you and Jared don't really text much during the day, but Vass and I do, and that's just important to us. Or like, well, I love it every time he gets in the car, he'll call me. Like, if he's driving to go see
Jared's
a client, I'm like, oh, I really appreciate that. It's like you get in the car and the first thing you think about is calling your girlfriend. Or like when he's on the way home, like the other day he didn't call me on the way home and it was so weird. I was like, hello, like, excuse me, you're supposed to call me. And it's just those little things like that. Like that is intimacy to me as well.
Yeah.
Cute, fun things.
And then obviously like there is the sex side as well where like, again, making time. Because I know one thing of like, we live fucking busy lives. We're tired and that takes effort. But again, sometimes it is literally just like, you got to fucking make time. You got to schedule it because, again, you notice the difference in connection. You notice the difference in how your mood shifts. And, again, falling back in love with the person. Like, prioritize intimacy is my biggest tip. Like, don't let it go unnoticed because I feel like that's where we start to feel... We always say this thing of, like, this is one way of us communicating is we just go, I just don't feel connected to you. And even yesterday, we spent, like, pretty much all day together, but... We went to the gym, but we were doing different workouts or we were driving to a place, but we were in separate cars or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, we've spent a lot of time together, but I don't actually feel that connection because I think there's a difference between just being or having that actual connection to one another. And that's where those like little intimate moments make a big difference.
Beautiful. This one's for the people who have gone through a breakup and are wanting to get back with that person. When I tell you I felt so much fear of judgment around that period, like it literally was eating me up inside and out. And that is why I had to literally do all these tips, especially the communication. Because for me, it was kind of like, I took so many people on my journey with Vas, and because we were always so like on and off anyway before we even started dating, people were just so thrilled when we first initially got into a relationship. Everyone was like, finally, and you guys have done it and da-da-da. So then when we broke up, then everyone was shocked, and then when we were getting back together, everyone was like to me, are you sure? Because you were so fucking heartbroken because I was such a different person then, dealt with my emotions so differently. Like I was that girl that talked so badly about him at the start, like fuck him and da-da-da. So then my friends were responding that way because I was taking no accountability until did some healing, realized, fuck, I had a huge role to play in that breakup, and then had to start telling everyone, hey, it was also my fault. It wasn't just his fault. And that can be a real hard pill to swallow for some people, but that kind of ties in again with the accountability piece. It's like, where are you also playing a role in this breakup? And then when it comes to getting back together, that is where the communication really needs to vamp up. Like Vas and I had some really serious conversations about marriage, about kids, about religion and culture and all these sorts of stuff because we were like, we know we want to do this and there's also only so much that you can control, but we were like, we know that how people feel about this. Like both families had things to say. Both families had their own opinions and judgments. But I'm here to tell you that if you know that you really love someone so much and you know that you can make it work, go for it, because people are always going to have something to say regardless. Like you could be in the happiest relationship and people are still going to think you're villains. People are still going to have something to say. And that's something that I had to just convince myself as well. I was like, I know people are probably going to be sitting there waiting for us to break up or waiting to be like, oh, I fucking told you so. Like I just had that feeling, but I was like, we're going to make sure that that doesn't happen. Like we're going to make sure that we make this fucking relationship work. And we've had multiple hard conversations. We've pushed through so much. And that's why there's this big part of us that's like, fuck, if we can get through this traumatic fucking breakup, plus get back together and deal with everyone's feelings and thoughts and opinions. Like when I tell you I was so scared to tell my friends and family, like I was living in a share house with one of the girls who we went to school with together. I would like lie to her when I would go see him because I was like, oh my God, what is she going to think? Until she called me out and was like, you need to tell the rest of the girls. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, you're making this really hard. But also it was exactly what I need to fast track the communication with Vas, because I was like, I'm in La La Land, this is really fun, I feel like a kid again, being all secret, etc. But it's like, there's only so long it's going to last in that bubble where you do have to have those serious conversations and be like, okay, is this legit or are we just having fun? And I had to do that. And when we realized it was fucking legit, it was like, cool, let's deal with all these things, knowing that so much fear and judgment's going to come. But it really worked out for us because we made it work. And that might not be the case for everyone, and that's okay. But as long as you're happy with that decision and you know deep down that that's something that you really want to do, just go for it. Like, love is so special, and to find love in someone is truly it's just remarkable. It's just the best fucking feeling. But it's not always easy, and that's okay. People are always going to judge. People are always going to say something regardless, like I said, whether you're happy or not. But at the end of the day, when you're going home to that person, as long as you're happy and you know that you're going to have that future with them and that's all that fucking matters to you, then absolutely go for it. Like one thing that my dad taught me, he was very much like, regardless of religion, regardless of culture, like love is love. And there's just so much that you can take away from that point. And that's something that I tell myself every single fucking day, that love is so important. And that fear of judgment, fuck it. Just out the fucking window, mate. Seriously.
I love it. So good. All right, we're going to finish off with love languages, which we've dribbled in. So we've got acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, and gift giving. Oh, I'm so glad I remembered all of those.
Done.
Everyone is so different, and I'd love to... What's your love language?
Acts of service.
Mine used to be gift giving, and I felt like such a fucking diva saying that. But when it was the fact of when people really put thought and love into the gift, and I'm seen in that. Like, for example, one of the first birthday I had being with Jared, he spent all night long baking for me. Bless his soul. And like made caramel sauce or whatever, and then like he was putting a lot of thought and intention into the gifts, and I was like, that was my way of feeling loved. For me now, like it's shifted a lot. Again, I was like super young then, still super young, but is very much words of affirmation. And I think it's because we get really busy. We both own businesses. We both have really different work schedules. And sometimes I'm like, I just need to know that you still love me, or that this is how you feel about me. And like, I just want to actually hear it from you. And I think, again, Jared's someone he's a very manly man of doesn't like to express his emotions as much. So I'm like, I need to actually hear it in words. His is physical touch. He's a very like cuddly physical touch person. Again, I'm just exposing him here, but I think it's so important to understand each other's, because if I was trying to like pump him up with words of affirmation, he doesn't give a shit about that. Whereas if I'm giving him cuddles, kisses, all the things, he's going to feel really loved by that. Same as like if Rami's partner was giving her gifts all the time, she may not care, versus he cleans the whole fucking house, he cooks her dinner, does all of these things, and she's going to feel really, really fulfilled. So I think it's really important making sure that you understand each other's love languages so that you actually feel loved, because it's the whole thing with how Jared and I say we don't feel connected. You're not going to feel that if you're getting, like, it's apples and oranges. You know what I mean? If you don't like oranges, you're not going to feel.
I like it.
But one also thing I wanted to say is I think just recognizing over this whole podcast, everyone's relationship is so different. And some of the stuff we said, you may be like, oh, I don't even like that in a relationship. I don't value that, all the things. And that's why like we're speaking off our own experience. Even Rami's relationship looks so different to my relationship, and just understanding that too, because one thing that we didn't really talk about is comparison. Do you feel like you've ever compared?
Yeah, we should chat on that.
Yeah, because I know at the start, again, I had never had like a healthy relationship modeled to me, and also social fucking media, dude, of relationships, especially on socials. And I know Rami mentioned this earlier of like, it is such a fucking highlight reel, because who's going on Instagram and posting, oh my God, we just had the biggest fucking fight and nearly broke up. Like, you're never going to see that. And we've had so many tough moments in our relationship where we've never broken up. We've got close to being on a break. We've had like these really difficult conversations, but that's what you never see. And this is where comparison in terms of relationships, I had to cut it out, like be really strict with it, of just being like understanding that is theirs. And also, okay, if I'm comparing, what am I missing from mine that's making me go into that comparison loop? And then again, what do I have to communicate to my partner of, okay, cool, I'm comparing myself because they're all over each other and I'm not having that in my relationship, but I really want that here. So watch out where you're comparing, because one, it's not Candyland for everyone. Like, it's not all sunshine and rainbows and everything. They probably have a lot of difficult moments. Mm-hmm. And again, it's when you see all these big social media relationships break up and everyone's like, what? You were the perfect couple, blah, 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 blah.
You don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
No, you never know the full story, especially with relationships.
Yeah.
There's so much.
I still remember the day I told Mum that Vass and I broke up, and she was like, you're joking. I was like, lady, put your phone down. I need to talk to you. Like, it was, she literally was gobsmacked. And again, that's because people just thought it was all picture perfect, but there's so much that goes on. Yeah. And that's okay. I think it also just needs to be normalized that if you are having issues in your relationship, like, talk about it, get help, and like Alicia said from before, from the right people, because it can be really easy to feel even worse or more bogged down when people are just projecting your fears and your limiting doubts and beliefs about your relationship, because it's not easy, it's hard, and sometimes you have to hear shit that you might not want to hear, which is, what are you doing? What are you not doing? Da-da-da-da, all those sorts of things. Like when I recently told my sister about something, she's like, oh, Vass's love language must be quality time. Are you spending enough time with him? And I was like, fuck, I don't think I am. I've been really busy actually. So having people around you that can reflect those things to you so that you can better your relationship. Because it is sunshine and rainbows online. But a lot of people who follow me now wouldn't even know that Vass and I had gone through a breakup. Yeah. But it was one of the worst things I'd ever gone through. But I don't talk about it because it's not really my reality anymore. I don't need to. But again, you just don't know what people have gone through and are going through. So stop comparing.
And with that, wow, that was a great app. Well, I'd love to know what you guys thought of it. Obviously, like we know, not everyone's in relationships, but having these conversations as someone who's in a relationship is really nice to hear of like, okay, cool. It's not always sunshine and rainbows. Like I'm not doing anything wrong. So let us know in the DMs, the comments, wherever you're watching, listening, all those things. Rate us 5 stars, give us a like, a follow, all the things. We love you so, so, so much. And we will be back in your ears next week.
Bye.
Bye.